Hey everyone, let's talk about that moment. You know the one, right before you start a bilge water discharge. Today, we're going to swap that little bit of uncertainty for some serious confidence. We're diving deep into the FOCAS 2015 ppm bilge alarm, and trust me, by the time we're done, you'll know this thing like the back of your hand. You know that feeling, right? The pump's humming, the valve is open, and you're putting all your faith into this little box to stop a really, really big problem from happening. That's exactly why knowing your gear inside and out isn't just, a good idea, it's absolutely essential. And it all comes down to this one little number, 15 parts per million. That is the razor-thin line between a totally clean, legal discharge and a major headache. It's the standard all around the world, and our job is to make sure we stay on the right side of it, every single time. So, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with why 15 ppm is such a big deal. Then we're going to take a tour of your Bilge Guardian, the FOCS 2000 itself. We'll see how it actually finds those tiny bits of oil, get you comfortable with running it, and wrap up with a few simple checks to keep it happy. Okay, let's dive in. So what does 15 parts per million even look like? Well, picture this. You have 1 million drops of water. To be able to discharge that overboard, only 15 of those drops can be oil. It is an incredibly strict rule, and sticking to it, that's completely non-negotiable. And that is where this awesome piece of tech comes into play. The FOCAS 2000 isn't just sitting there watching, it's an active bodyguard for the environment. Honestly, the best way to think of it is as your totally reliable partner, always on watch, ready to jump in and stop a bad discharge before it happens. To really trust a piece of equipment, you've got to know how it ticks. So let's get properly introduced to the FOCAS 2000. We'll start with the outside, all the bits and pieces you'll see and touch, before we peek inside to see how it works its magic. And to help us out, we have a special guide for this tour. Meet our little blue water droplet. He's going to represent a drop of perfectly clean water, and we're going to follow him on his journey right through the heart of the machine. It's the best way to see what's really going on. All right, first a quick walk around. That LCD screen, that's your command center. The buttons right below it, escape, enter, and the arrows are how you'll talk to it. The lights are super simple. Green means power's on, red means an alarm is active. And over here are your ins and outs. This is where the sample water goes in and out, and right here is the freshwater inlet, which is super important for its self-cleaning cycle. Okay, you ready? Let's follow our little blue friend inside the machine. This is where the real magic happens. We're about to see the exact moment the FOCAS 2000 makes that critical decision. Is this water safe to go overboard or not? And here we go. First, our little water droplet flows into the detection tube. A really precise light sensor inside shoots a beam of light through it to measure how clear it is. If our droplet is clean, we're talking under 15 ppm, the system says you're good to go, and that three-way valve stays open for discharge. But the second it detects a little too much oil, bam, the alarm goes off instantly. The system doesn't even think about it. It just slams that three-way valve shut, stopping the overboard flow and sending that water back for more treatment. It's just that fast. Now, having that automatic protection is amazing, for sure, but don't forget, you are always in command. And really understanding how to work the system, read the screen, and run tests yourself, well, that's what makes you a master of your equipment, not just a user. So that LCD screen is your window into what's happening. If it says standby, it's just chillin', waiting for the bilge pump to kick on. As soon as it feels that water pressure, it'll switch to operating and show warm up for a few seconds. Then you get to the most important part, measuring. That's when you'll see the live ppm number and whether the discharge is on or off. And finally, when the pump stops, it'll go into its washing mode to give itself a good rinse with fresh water. Simple as that. So you want to make sure it's working perfectly, right? Good news. You can test it yourself, anytime. It's super easy. From the standby screen, just press and hold the ESC button for about 2 seconds to get to the menu. Find test mode. Then, when it's running, press and hold enter to start a simulation. The screen will say sim. Now just use the up arrow to pretend the ppm is rising. The moment you push it past 15, watch. The alarm lights will flash, and you'll see the valve signal turn to off. It's the perfect way to prove to yourself that your Guardian is awake and ready. Look, a great machine deserves a little bit of love, and the FOCAS 2000 is built tough. But a few really simple, regular checks are all it takes to make sure it's always working at its best, keeping you safe and compliant for years to come. And I mean it when I say simple. There are really just 4 key things. The one you'll do most often is cleaning the sensor, because a dirty sensor can give you a false alarm and nobody wants that. Then, about once a month, you'll do a quick 0-point check and take a look at the desiccant. And every 3 months or so, give the filters a clean. That's it. Staying on top of this little schedule is the secret to a long, happy life for your alarm. Okay, this one is probably the easiest check in the world. See this little indicator for the desiccant? All that is a little packet that keeps moisture away from the electronics, and checking it takes 2 seconds. If the little dot is blue, you are golden, you're good to go. If it's turned pink or a light purple, it's done its job, soaked up all the moisture it can, and it's time to swap it out for a new one. It's a tiny check that prevents huge problems. Let's walk through that sensor cleaning real quick. Step 1, safety first. Kill the power and shut the water inlet valves. Step 2, open the top and the drain port, and use that special brush they give you to gently clean the inside of the tube. Step 3, drain out the cleaning liquid and give it a really good rinse with some mineral water. We use mineral water so no new gunk gets in there. And finally, step 4, put it all back together, turn it on, and run a quick test with more mineral water to make sure it reads a perfect 0. Done. And really, that's what this is all about. We didn't just read a manual today. By following that little water droplet, you got to see the story of how the FOCAS 2000 works. And that kind of understanding, knowing the why, is so much more powerful than just memorizing a sequence of buttons. So for every single one of you watching this, taking the time to really get to know the gear that keeps you safe, keep doing what you're doing. That curiosity, that drive to understand, that's what makes you a true pro. So stay curious, keep learning, and most importantly, sail safe. Hey, if this guide was helpful, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We've got more explainers for essential onboard gear coming your way. And let us know in the comments what you want us to break down next. Thanks so much for watching.